YouTube? You already know it's your boy, the Latin assassin himself, Big Lou, tapping back in one more again. What it do, Big Lou, NFCR2, baby, bye. So check it out. This is a somewhat of a continuance from yesterday's video, but more so on the candidate that President Biden has endorsed, which is also obviously his VP, right, Kamala Harris. Um, so I'm gonna give a little background and a little bit more of my perspective about where things are at and where it's gonna go, and what the reason why that thumbnail is put there. So check it out. So she was a prosecutor, right? She was the district attorney for the, I believe it was the county of San Francisco, or maybe the county of Alameda. It was one of those. Then she went on to be the attorney general of the second biggest uh, Justice Department in the United States, after the Justice Department of the federal government. Um, Basically, she's the top cop of California. That's basically what that means. Okay. Then she went on to become a senator, junior senator, junior United States senator to then senior senator Dianne Feinstein. Then she decided to run for president, bowed out pretty early in the race, and was selected as President Biden, the 46th president of the United States, as the vice president, right? So when they choose a vice president, they're choosing a vice president based off of obviously some qualifications as experience, proven leader, things of that nature, problem solver, things like that. But also, in case anything happens to the president, the vice president will be sworn in as president, right? So that's a no-brainer, right, with that. And obviously Joe Biden picked her because he feels that she can complete the job that he started, right? Or that they started together. Now, yeah, of course he picked her. She's a woman of color. Not only is she black or Afro-American, African-American, she's also half Asian Indian Asian. I'm not sure how it goes. It goes Asian Indian or Indian Asian. Nonetheless, both her parents are immigrants. Both were part of movements, part of medical and civil stuff. Um, Therefore, Biden picked her because the reason why he picked all his cabinet members is because he wants his cabinet members to reflect on how the country looks. Not everybody being pale skinned and blah blah, so forth. And then ones that are darker, such as Kash Patel and Nikki Haley and Vivek Vasami and Byron Donald and Tim Scott, thinking they're somebody they're not. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is they're trying to get in where they fit in, and they don't fit in because they're too dark, right? And this has been said. Ann Coulter said, even J.D. Vance, look at his wife. They're already talking shit about her. I mean, so that goes down the line of what I've said before many times, that these people won't stand up for their own family. They're definitely not going to stand up for the American people. So J.D. Vance is a coward if he's going to sit there and be in that position of vice president nominee pick of Donald Trump, and then have his wife being drilled and shit talked in the media, or not the media, but the social media, by these right wing racists, right? And of course they're going to say, like the other day, somebody said, "Oh, give me an example of this widespread racism you say." And I never said about widespread, but you know what? There's plenty of it right there. I mean, just for the fact is, they're trying to roll back all these civil rights voting rights acts that have been passed. They're trying to roll them back all across the nation, as well as the federal government, right? So, well, the Supreme Court said that it's unconstitutional at this point. Everybody's trying to say that affirmative action and DEI is no good and this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's all a crock of shit. It's just weak people got weak minds, and they want to blame on a percentage that's so small that, let's be realistic. It doesn't affect nothing, right? Nothing. And it's not all about color. It's about women. It's about homosexuality. People can be hired. People with that have Down syndrome, mental health things, that they're still able to work. You know what I'm saying? And I know the list probably goes on more than that. Those are the ones I know of. But this is the problem. See, Biden is old. Obviously, he lost a lot of step. He lost a lot of his speaking the way he speaks, it's real slow, and it's, he gets stuck for a minute, and he wasn't able to um, put the message across by, and it's a big task, right? For especially somebody that's old like that. Not only do you gotta fact check the big old liar of Donald Trump, which is lies upon lies upon lies, which he likes to distract, right? He likes to distract. Uh, I forgot which ones they were. He likes to distract, deflect, and let's see where they at. I'll tell you guys right now. I forgot where I put it at, but I got it written down somewhere. Um, it's the 3Ds. I'm gonna have to find it, but it's the deflect, distract, right? And this is what he does, right? This is something he picked up many years ago, and he continues to use it to this day, right? Um, so, I mean, he uses it at a high tech level, right? I mean, you can ask him something that has nothing to do with nothing. I mean, you can ask him something, and he'll come back with something that has nothing to do with, with what you asked, right? And he does it at a very high tech level, to say the least, right? Um, he is. Hold on, this is gonna bother me until I find this. If I find it, maybe I don't have it here. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have it here, but with my luck, with how it's been going today thus far, I probably won't find it. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, so there's 3Ds that he uses constantly, and there's actually 4 of them, but he interchanges them, right? So you got deny, you got delay, or you can go with delay first or deny first, and then you got deflect or distract, right? So any combination of 3 out of those 4, those are what he uses at a high tech level, right? And like, for example, you can be asked about, hey, everybody wants to know where you are on abortion rights, because you've been pro-life, you've been pro-choice, you've been kind of centrist, you've been kind of all over the place. And what he'll say, he says, oh well, I think where I'm at on that. And then he goes into Ronald Reagan, and that him and Ronald Reagan were similar. They were Democrats, now Republicans, blah blah blah. And he didn't even answer the question other than I think where I'm at. And that's where these D's come in. But the thing is, with these 3Ds, they work well against Biden, because Biden can't fact check them and let it be known what he's already passed, right? And then what he plans on passing in his next term, all in one woo-wop. He just can't do it, right? Because the simple fact is that debate, and whoever prepped him for that debate was horrible. They tried to get him to remember all the statistics. He didn't need to come out with all these statistics. All he needed to do was speak on the basis. That was it. You know what I'm saying? That's all he needed to do. All he needed to say was, 50, we brought back more jobs. We brought back all the boom of all the manufacturing jobs in America. Things of that nature. He didn't need to say 15, almost 16 million jobs and 2.2 this, 3.3 that. He could have just easily said, me and Harris's administration, we brought this country out of it was in a bad bind due to COVID, and the way Dodo Bird Dump handled it as a leader, right? He ran it straight in the dirt, right? And because of some of his policies, as tariffs and things of that nature, and he didn't have to go into numbers, right? He could have just said easily, our economy's number one coming out of this. Our GDP growth is number one coming out of this. Unemployment record lows for 28 plus months of 4.0 or lower. 40 something thousand projects announced on the infrastructure bill. You know what I'm saying? All the jobs they brought back for the Chips and Science Act, right? All that stuff could have been clearly said without having to go into numbers. Oh, see, when he starts thinking and try to come up with these numbers, he starts messing himself up. And now some of it could have been he was sick and he jet lagged, he was tired, it was at night, he didn't feel too well. All of those could have came in play, right? He knows that he's got to man, some people, man, are just, man, what's wrong with people? So he knows that he had to show up or show out. He had to show up and show out on that thing, and he failed, right? So that just gave everybody a bad vibe on what was going on with them, right? Okay, now that Harris stepping in, she can make the case, prosecute the case, blindfolded with her eyes closed, standing on top of her head in the corner, you know what I'm saying, all day, every day. And you know what I'm saying? Because for one, she has the skill of being a prosecutor, you know what I'm saying? And she can articulate it very well because she's got a lot of experience doing so, right? Okay. On top of that, on top of that, right? On top of that, um, you know, she's been a big advocate as Biden's number two as the Veep, going around, and her main thing was, you know, the abortion, women's right, you know, to choose what they want to do with their body, you know. So Donald Trump, you know, now of course they're all crying and whining, and this is the thing about it though, is that they said, you know, the radical left is so bad, and you know, and they're driving this country in the ground, and is making it a third world country, so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. So it shouldn't matter who the fucking Democratic nominee is, or whoever he's going against on the top of the ticket. It shouldn't matter according to them. You know what I'm saying? Because according to them, they're, like I said, they're running this country in the ground. This is the Biden was the worst president ever. Well, Harris is attached to that same ticket. So what's the problem? Right? You got so much common sense, Donald Dump. You should be able to just handle her, right? Because you're right about everything, and she's wrong. Biden's wrong. All the other Democrats are wrong about everything. That they turned this country around for the better because of the fucking way you left this country, right? When you got voted out, you left the country in shambles, right? So how does a president like Biden how's it be said about him that he's the worst president in history, but he's got more jobs created with more than the last three presidents combined, right? In the Republican side, and he's only been in one term and not even a full term. You know what I'm saying? These things he passed he got all that stuff passed, majority of it within 2 years when they had the House. You know, and you got to keep in mind too, he still got uh, bipartisan support on those bills, even if it was only eight Congress representatives, or I mean in the Senate, and maybe 10, 12, 14 in the House. It doesn't matter. It's still Republicans. They voted for this stuff because they're not dumb. They realize this stuff's going to benefit everybody in the United States. You're not a president just for your party, political party, or those red states or the blue states. You're for everybody. That's why you see Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ted Cruz and all these other clowns coming out bragging about the money they brought to their states, right? Because these projects, which is nonsense, right? They all voted against it. I said this before, and Harris is going to be able to make this claim, and then whoever she picks for a VP is also going to be pushing this issue, is that the Republican Party, who are the party of families, law and order, for the military, why they vote against all that shit? Why did they vote against the let me see if I can find it real quick. Why did they vote against the PACT Act, which is for military families, right? Military and their families, right? Why did they vote against the Chips and Science Act? Why did they vote against Build Back Better, right? Why did they vote against the Infrastructure Bill, right? Why did they vote against the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, right? Uh, cap, uh, capped insulin for seniors at $35 a month. They voted against all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Uh, the biggest gun safety legislation in over 30 years. Come on. You know what I'm saying? They all voted against all this. The American Rescue Plan, I already mentioned that. No, I didn't mention that. The American Rescue Plan, right? All these bills he passed. Put the first black justice on the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? And they get shit because their administration and their appointees look like the way the country looks. It's not all just white males or white people. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense, bro. It's nonsense, straight nonsense. And you can't. Nah, I'm not even gonna go there. But check it out, man. They're afraid that Biden's now out, Kamala's in, or whoever's gonna be in, and it's gonna be Kamala, I believe. She's already raised $60 million within a few hours, right? On top of the 100 million that was there already. So she's already pushing forward, and that's just the beginning of it, right? Um, you know, they're worried because she can articulate and she can push the message and fact check and all that, and then some in one woo wop. You know what I'm saying? One backhand, she can give it all to him. You know what I'm saying? And they're worried about that because he's going to be called out on his lies. You know what I'm saying? No problem. He's going to be called out on Agenda 47 and Project 2025. You know what I'm saying? And she's going to be able to push and let everybody know that, look, I was part of this administration. We got all this stuff done, but this is what else I want to do. Now I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden did put some of the things out in his first 100 days. There's obviously got to be more stuff to it, and I'm pretty sure she's going to do some few different things here and there. I don't think it's going to be exact whatever he had planned, um, because you want her to, you want her to be shown that she's her own person, and a lot of it she's going to, especially at the convention, they're going to be introducing her, like, you know, because even though a lot of us know who she is, we don't know who she is. Like, we do, but we don't, if that makes sense. Remember Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton been around forever, but yet they still had to introduce her in 2016 because different things were going around about her, narratives and agendas and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Conspiracies, and so Kamala Harris is going to push, and push. I'll just put it like that. And they know that it's going to be a rough one for Donald Trump. Now, I doubt that Donald Trump is going to agree to a debate with her. He knows he can't win. Kellyanne Conway knows he can't win. Stephen Miller knows he can't win. That's why they're all going out there crying and whining about shit. And again, I'm going to repeat this again. If it's so simple that if Democrats' ideas and agendas and values are so tore up and not popular, then you shouldn't have no problem whoever the Democratic person is on that's leading the top of the ticket. Donald Trump, you should have no problem going out there and spewing the same bullshit you've been spewing since 2015, 2016, right? And they're going to hit the ground hard and running. And you got all these governors now that have been, their names been floated in the mix for vice president. We've been here, or, first we were hearing, Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer. I really like Wes Moore myself. You haven't heard him too much though. Andy Bashar, I can't think of his name right now, but from North Carolina, all these different governors, and a lot of them already came out and endorsed her, right? Most of them already have. It's gonna be, Jank from Young Turks. He believes that it should be an open convention. You know what I'm saying? And that the money could be that Biden already has locked up can be given to a PAC, and then they can be made like commercials and stuff going after Trump. That's all possible. But I think Kamala, she's the only one that's ran a federal race, right? She ran for senator, won, and she was part of the Biden ticket and won. So nobody else has ran a race in the federal level, right? They're all state level winners. Nonetheless, it's going to be a tough battle. We still got to get out there and get the info out to our family, our friends, people that'll listen, right? Because so many people are mistaken about what's really going on, right? They have no idea what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They got no idea what's going on. I explained this a little bit in the other video. They got no idea what's going on with the country, what Joe Biden has passed as president. And they have I'm serious, no idea. And when I tell them, they're like shocked that they couldn't believe that he's passed all that stuff. I go, yeah, he's passed more stuff in 2 years than most presidents passed in 2 terms. And he did that mostly in just about 2 years. So we get the House, the blue Dems get the House back. They can hold on to the Senate and keep the White House as well. The country will be looking good, man. Because keep in mind, all these bills and projects that are being passed and made up all over the place. It's not just for one party; it's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And everybody benefits from it. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have Lauren Boebert of Colorado and Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia and Ted Cruz of Texas and that other lady, the older Cuban lady from Florida, coming out taking credit for things they voted against. If it wasn't a good, something that was good. Almost 800,000 manufacturing jobs have been created and brought back to the United States. You know what I'm saying? Under Trump, I think it was 1,000 factories were shut down. They're bringing back even the car industry back. But you listen to Donald Trump, just like he said when they got voted in, before he actually got voted in, he would say, if you vote him in, everything's going to go downhill, crash. 4 years almost went by. He's still saying the same shit, that like it's in real time, that it's just about to happen again. Like if 2020 just like they just got voted in. In other words, like this 4 years haven't passed, and he's still prophesizing that everything's gonna go into shits. That's another thing is that he says, and the Republicans say that the economy's in the shits. Everything's terrible. Everything's bad. It's been a disastrous presidency of Biden. But if that's the case, then why are you uh, uh, saying that any day, any month that it's going to be a recession, or that everything's going to tank? But according to you, it's already tanked, and it's currently tanked. So you know what I'm saying? It's just bullshit. And if you cared about the American people, like supposedly he cares about this country because he hugged a flag, you wouldn't want that and wish that on the American people, right? Because some of those people are MAGA followers. But to you, Donald Trump, you don't care because you would want them to suffer because you're supposed to be the savior when you were there already and you did diddly squat, jack shit, right? Second thing, to say to interrupt and get involved when you're not even, you weren't the nominee yet, you weren't in office. You know what I'm saying? The Secretary of Homeland Security, Mayorkas, met with James Langford, Senator of Oklahoma. I think Chris Murphy of Connecticut. I think it was Chris Murphy of Connecticut. And Kirsten Sinema of Arizona, Independent. And excuse me. And they all worked together for months to come up with this immigration bill. Not even immigration, border security, right? For all these more machines, the detection machines, more asylum judges, more detention beds, a better way to locate and track people that they let through, expecting them to show up at their, I don't know, what if immigration hearing, I guess, you know what I'm saying, and all these different things. Uh, and Langford was warned by somebody in TV. Somebody, it had to be somebody, I don't know who it was. Some say it was Sean Hannity, some say it was Laura Ingraham, some say it was somebody from another network, more of a social media right wing platform. That if he continued to try to push the bill, that they would do all in their power to ruin him. And he even admits that they already tried; they've been trying, right? And then Trump goes ahead and reaches out to MAGA Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, and tells him, don't even, if this gets sent over there by the Senate, don't even pick it up. So if you really cared about the American people, you wouldn't, this is what they do. They leave things out. They make a big thing on things, which some of these things are a big deal, but they never fall through with making a new, coming up with new laws or new bills, no nothing. So they use things to run on, just like they say, oh, the immigrants are killing people, raping people every day. And they'll bring up a victim that, yeah, they were killed by a immigrant, undocumented immigrant, and they make it sound like it's happening every other minute, right? But all they want to do is use it to run on, as a talking point. They don't want to try to fix anything. You know what I'm saying? And to try to say that, oh, Biden did this, Biden did that. I've said this and I'll say it again. Every president that comes in, the people that make it in the country, the number goes up. Go and look at the numbers. So when Obama was president, more people got in with him than Bush. When Trump was president, more people got in with him than Obama. And then now Biden's in, more people got in than Trump. The difference between Trump and Obama is more people got in under Trump, but Obama deported more, right? Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I got it pretty much correct. You can take either term of Obama, and he deported more than Trump, right? Biden, one of his, I don't know exactly if it was within his first couple of days, but he put a bill out for immigration. Nothing, right? They wouldn't even touch it. Other thing is when that bill, if it would have got passed through the Senate and then went on to the House of Representatives, most of the Latino congressmen and women, they weren't going to vote. They weren't going to vote for that bill anyways, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, the reason why they didn't want to vote for it was because there was nothing in there about immigration. It was all solely border security, right? Nothing to path, path to citizenship. Nothing about the Dreamers. Nothing on, anything. It was just all border security, right? Pretty much, detection machines, more custom border patrol agents, more ICE agents, more, more, like I said, more judges. That way, when people are here on asylum cases or asylum claims, they're not, in limbo for, I think they said sometimes upward to 10 years. This with this bill, they would get it down to like a year or less per person, which is, I mean, you're talking about what 1,000% better chance. Excuse me, 1,000% moving forward on the immigration or the asylum claims and pushing them through faster by 1,000%. That's a win, right? But like I said, it was nothing on border, nothing on immigration, and that's where a lot of the Latino caucus, well, they call it Hispanic caucus, I think. Um, yeah, what was that, dude? What are you doing? What you champ? What are you doing, boy? It's fucking strange ass fucking people, man. Just fucking. Anyways, so it's very simple. They're shaking in their britches like Don, shaking like leaves like Don Knotts, right? Because they're not gonna have an answer for uh, anybody who's heading that ticket. And right now, it's Kamala Harris, right? We'll see what happens if it's gonna be an open convention or whatever. But she's in like Flynn right now, right? And me personally, I still believe that Joe Biden was gonna pull that out. We'll never have no proof of it, but I think the American people know what's up. About what Project 2025 is and Agenda 47 and what this evil evil hateful rhetoric that keeps being pushed from the right, on immigrants and things of that nature, and try and make people to be second class citizens. You know what I'm saying? And I've already mentioned this before, but these people will bring up the fact that they fought in the military or this or that. But if somebody else fought in the military, but they're not with the same ideology as them, they're considered like scum, garbage, trash, second class to them. You know what I'm saying? Which is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because when they're on the battlefield, it's all good in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Um. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop with that now. This is like part two, but more pushing Kamala Harris. Um, Trump's in trouble. That's just the bottom line. I mean, if it's gonna work, I don't know. I'm just saying, but she can push at a high tech level the argument. She can try him and ultimately convict him on in public opinion. You know what I'm saying? Do via interviews, speeches, um, debates. You know what I'm saying? All that. You know what I'm saying? All that. She squashes him like a bug. You know what I'm saying? It's like David versus Goliath. Even though he thinks he's the top mother mofo of everybody. You know what I'm saying? He thinks his shit don't stink. And because of the Supreme Court, thanks to the Supreme Court, he's got almost absolute immunity. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing I was gonna say. President Biden, he told him straight up, "F you, SCOTUS." You know what I'm saying? "F you on your making presidents like a monarch." You know what I'm saying? That man is so patriotic. You know what I'm saying? Civil servant for 50 plus years. He would never disgrace the Constitution in that manner, right? And the fact is that he stepped down when he caught wind of really how the polls looked, the money dried up, what some constituents were saying to their Congress people, and he decided the best thing to do going forward for the country, not his ego, was to step aside. He did it. Donald Trump would never do that because it's always about him. He's the best, he's the greatest, and he's perfect when it comes to him. Remember, he's never had to ask God for forgiveness because he's never done nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's been caught on tapes after tapes with his big ass boca open, running it and bragging about this and that and this. You know what I mean? Well, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close on out, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm gone.